From the outside, Ron Howard seemed untouched by the darker currents that often accompany a childhood and career spent in Hollywood. With his familiar, gentle smile and steady voice, he appeared to glide through life with grace. Yet beneath the surface, he wrestled with private struggles that were hidden from public view. Only in recent years has he begun to share these truths. Painful memories, deep regrets, and complex family challenges that shaped him far more than any movie set ever could. For decades, Howard lived a life admired by millions, but quietly burdened by emotional weight. Early beginnings in Duncan, Oklahoma, born Ronald William Howard on March 1, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma, he entered a world steeped in creativity and ambition. His parents, actor Rance Howard and actress Jean Spiegel Howard, nurtured his talents from infancy, exposing him to a life few children could comprehend. At just 18 months old, he appeared in Frontier Woman, unwittingly beginning a lifelong journey in entertainment. Moving to California in the late 1950s, Howard's childhood became a delicate balancing act between the ordinary and the extraordinary, blending schoolwork with long days on set, creating both opportunity and an early sense of isolation. Becoming Opie Taylor, everything shifted in 1960 with the premiere of The Andy Griffith Show. 6-year-old Howard became Opie Taylor, America's embodiment of innocence. While the role brought admiration and fame, it also demanded emotional discipline. In a small room near Stage 40 at Desilu Studios, he studied quietly, listening to other children play outside. Under his father's careful guidance, he learned to act naturally, never cutely. The pressure of being everyone's cherished child while never fully being himself left marks that extended into adolescence. Fame came with invisible costs, stress, scrutiny, and the loss of a typical childhood that few viewers could imagine. Adolescence between sets and school. After the series concluded in 1968, Howard's public success masked private pressure. His school years oscillated between Burbank classrooms and hurried tutoring on sound stages, blending normal education with a demanding acting schedule. Even on sets like The Music Man in 1962, his anxiety was carefully concealed. As an 8-year-old facing a complicated dance routine, he whispered his fears to Shirley Jones, masked by strategic camera angles. Behind the scenes, Howard faced a relentless expectation to perform, learn, and mature simultaneously. These formative years instilled a work ethic and resilience, yet also seeded the enduring tension between personal desire and professional obligation. The rise of Richie Cunningham. In 1974, Happy Days introduced Howard as Richie Cunningham, a role that once again brought adoration and widespread recognition. While audiences saw an idealized version of youth, Howard internally struggled with confinement within a character who remained untouched by real-world complexities. He adored his craft, yet a quiet unrest grew, fueled by the dissonance between fame and personal freedom. By 1977, at 23, Howard sought an outlet, discovering directing as a path to autonomy. This transition marked the beginning of a career that would blend commercial success with deeply personal artistic choices, allowing him to explore narratives beyond his own early life. Breaking free through directing. Howard's directing career began with Roger Corman's offer for Grand Theft Auto, marking his first steps behind the camera. The decision to direct allowed him to reclaim agency, moving from a child actor molded by circumstance to a filmmaker shaping his own vision. Projects like Night Shift, Splash, Cocoon, Willow, and Parenthood showcased his versatility and growing command of storytelling. Yet each project carried relentless demands, pushing Howard to extremes. By Apollo 13 in 1995, he endured 612 zero-gravity sequences and consecutive 18-hour days for 90 straight days, collapsing under the weight of his own ambition, illustrating the costs hidden behind cinematic triumphs. The personal cost of professional ambition. Among Howard's heaviest burdens were the personal sacrifices required by his work. During the 6 months filming Far and Away in 1991, he left his newborn twins, Jocelyn and Bryce, in the care of his wife, Cheryl. Returning home, he faced children who barely recognized him, a moment he later described as deeply shattering. The guilt and distance left emotional scars, compounded by similar experiences on later projects like Cinderella Man in 2005. These absences forced him to confront lifelong patterns rooted in childhood, an ingrained belief that he had to always say yes, always prove himself, often at the expense of his own family. Reflections on family and regret. By the time of his 50th wedding anniversary in 2025, Howard admitted he would trade every professional accolade for the moments lost with his children. The tension between career fulfillment and parental presence remained a persistent theme in his life. Yet the most profound challenge lay closer to home, with his younger brother, Clint Howard, the only person who truly shared the experience of growing up inside Hollywood. Clint's battles with addiction and a subsequent life-altering illness have shaken Howard, reminding him that some struggles are beyond control or solution, even for a man accustomed to problem-solving. A career of storytelling. Across 7 decades, Howard has built a $200 million legacy, capturing audiences with stories that resonate far beyond the screen. From childhood acting roles to blockbuster directing, his life illustrates a unique blend of creativity, discipline, and persistence. Yet he now recognizes the paradox of his existence, a lifetime spent telling the world's stories while quietly neglecting his own. The silence between projects has revealed to him the cost of his devotion to craft, underscoring the delicate balance between public achievement and private fulfillment that defines a life in Hollywood. Lessons from a golden cage. Reflecting on his life, Howard often describes his childhood and career as a golden cage, safe, prosperous, and celebrated, yet isolating and demanding. From early exposure to fame to the pressures of adult filmmaking, he has lived a life of extraordinary privilege shadowed by intense personal cost. The discipline, creativity, and resilience developed in those formative years have been essential to his achievements, but they also came with emotional trade-offs. His story is a reminder that success and acclaim, however dazzling, can carry hidden burdens, and that reconciliation with personal history requires courage, honesty, and ongoing reflection. Legacy and acceptance. Now turning 71, Howard faces the future with wisdom and humility. He openly acknowledges the sacrifices he made, the moments he missed, and the ongoing challenges within his family. Yet there is also pride in his contributions, both on screen and behind the camera, and in the lives of those he has touched through storytelling. His journey illustrates the complexity of balancing ambition with humanity. By embracing his past, Howard demonstrates that a life shaped under the spotlight, while difficult, can be approached with honesty, grace, and the willingness to confront truths that were once hidden. A Life Fully Examined. Ron Howard's story is one of contrasts: innocence and experience, fame and private struggle, achievement and regret. From a toddler on a movie set to an iconic actor and filmmaker, he has navigated the challenges of public life while wrestling with personal costs. Through his reflections, Howard offers a rare glimpse into the human side of celebrity, the quiet sacrifices, emotional tolls, and enduring lessons of love, family, and resilience. As he continues to share his journey, it becomes clear that his legacy is defined not just by films or awards, but by the honesty and insight he brings to the stories of his life.